Mama Ruth fell sick and could not report to her workplace, called in and told Mr. and Mrs. James that she has been admitted in the hospital and that she will be sending in her daughter Ada to take her place to work in the house for the meantime. Mr. and Mrs. James sent her some money and were happy that she has a replacement for them immediately. Ada resumed work and started cleaning the house and also worked diligently for Mr. and Mrs. James. After a while, Ada befriended Francis, who happens to be the first child of Mr. and Mrs. James. Francis became so close to Ada and started professing love to her. She insisted that she is just here to do her work on behalf of her mother, and relationship for now is not on her cardboard. Francis promised to wait and also continue to shower her with gifts, takes her home sometimes, and also takes her for dinner dates, and has also improved in the communication skills between the two of them. Ada went to visit her mom in the hospital and the doctor discharged Mama Ruth. As they were coming back home, there was a stranger trailing them and Ada was confused. Who could that be? Immediately they got into their house. They saw this guy called Patrick, only for Ada to realize that Patrick was her schoolmate back in the days of university. Patrick and Ada exchanged numbers and started chatting and exchanged a lot of close memories they had in university days. As time goes by, Patrick started to profess his love for Ada. He also told Ada that he has had a crush on her since university days, but because he was not so strong and also very shy in school, he could not approach her. And besides, he was thinking Ada was going to reject him due to his financial status, because Ada might think he was just in for jokes and not in for serious matters. Ada also said she has crushed on him back in the day, but of course he was richer, so she also thinks that she was not in the league of ladies that might be interested to him. After they came back from the days, Patrick promised to bring Ada home and introduce her to her parents as a friend that he has made for a long time. Ada was willing to go and she was happy. Francis called Ada to ask why she hasn't been into the house for some days now, and Ada explained to him that she went to her mother's in the hospital to make sure that things are well, and as of now, her mom has been discharged, so she has taken some days off to cater for her mom in the house. She has already asked permission from Mrs. James. Francis was happy that her mom was back, and Francis promised to visit them with some good gifts. A week later, Patrick took Ada to his house. While on their way to the house, Ada was confused and was asking questions if this is his real house or his friend's house. Patrick replied and said this is his route to his house. When they got to the house, Ada knew something was wrong because this is the same house she has been cleaning for weeks, and this is the same house that Francis lives in. She was confused, went to the house and met Francis. And before she met Francis, Patrick was in the washroom. They had a quick exchange, and only to their surprise, Patrick saw them having discussion as well. So Patrick and Francis were confused as to how both of them knows Ada. Francis said he met Ada in the house while she is a cleaner, so they became friends, and apparently they are on their way to become a couple. Patrick was confused. Patrick also told Francis that Ada has been his friend since university days, and as at now, they are officially dating. So he doesn't know what Francis is talking about. Francis insisted that does not matter. They were friends back in the day. As of now, Ada is dating him. Patrick also insisted Ada is dating him. And all of a sudden, Patrick and Francis started fighting over Ada. This brought to the attention of their mom, Mrs. James. She had to interrupt to stop the boys from fighting. Ada was confused and left the house immediately. She got home and told her mom what happened, and Mama Ruth was surprised to see how this is getting out of hand because she cannot afford to lose her daughter over two grown men fighting over her. Ada was also confused as well because as of now she doesn't know if she's really dating Francis or dating Patrick. Back in the house, Patrick and Francis started exchanging insults and also continued to fight. And now both brothers are now keeping malice because of Ada. Days later, Francis started coming to Ada's house with gifts. Same with Patrick also coming to the house with gifts. One day, Francis was having conversation with Ada and trying to clear things up because he doesn't want to continue fighting his brother. As he was having conversation with Ada, Patrick walked in with his gifts and also requested to have a conversation with Ada. This started bringing up another fight between two brothers. Whilst these two brothers were exchanging insults, Mama Ruth walked in and asked the boys to leave her house. She insisted that they need to sort this out in their home and not in her own house. As Patrick and Francis left, Mama Ruth asked her daughter Ada what she is planning to do about the two men. Ada told her mom that she has a plan in her head which she is going to execute perfectly. Both Patrick and Francis went home and continued to fight. After their mom asked them for a smooth conversation, the conversation did not end well. The boys continued to fight and also accepted that they are going to fight till the end. One day, Ada called Francis and told him that she is just coming from the hospital and in her shock, she has been diagnosed of HIV/AIDS. This was a surprise to Francis because how could a beautiful young girl contract this disease? Ada told the same story to Patrick, and Patrick was also shocked. This left the two boys in shock and speechless for days. Their mom asked them what was wrong, and they told their mom this was the problem. Francis told the mom that he is no longer interested in marrying Ada because he cannot marry somebody who has HIV/AIDS. Patrick, on the other hand, told the mom that he is still interested in marrying Ada because science has improved and things have changed. He can still marry Ada, have children, and he will not have the virus. Neither would their future kids have the virus. Mrs. James, who is very abreast with issues, agreed that, well, if you still want to marry her, you can go ahead. We are not going to stop you. You are an adult and you can make decisions on your own. Months later, Mr. and Mrs. James invited Mama Ruth and Ada to compensate them for working with them for all these years and want them to start their own lives. Mr. James gave Mama Ruth some huge amounts of money to start her business and also offered to take Ada to the UK to study law and continue her education. And also said Patrick has insisted he is going to marry her despite her HIV status. At this point, Mama Ruth was confused as to how her daughter contracted this disease. Immediately, Ada said, Well, she is not HIV positive. This was a plan she came up with to know which of the men really love her despite her condition, or if there is a condition at all. So, she knew Patrick really loved her, but also she wanted to be sure if he was ready to fight for her. So she does not have HIV positive. This was just a trick to find out who actually do love her. Patrick was happy that he has won the battle between him and his brother. At this point, Francis became angry about the whole situation and said, Ada, you know I love you, but you can't use my love to play pranks. Ada said, well, this is not a prank. This shows how you truly love me. In case you marry me and something happened to our marriage or something happened to me, this is how you're going to leave me. So that shows you do not genuinely love me. Patrick is the one that loves and he has proven that. So I'm going to marry Patrick. Francis left the scene and Mr. and Mrs. James became happy for their son Patrick and Ada. Mama Ruth was also happy for her daughter. Thanks for watching this recap. This channel brings you the best Nollywood movies. We save you time and money. Don't forget to subscribe and like our videos for more movie recap.